Hi guys, and welcome to Scientific Calculator developed using C#. This tutorial is actually at a request of one of my viewers out there. So I'm going to click on File, let's select Standard. There we go. I'm going to clear, let's say Backspace. There we go. And let's say 85 divided by 13. There. And we can multiply that by 9. Plus minus multiply by 78. There we go. Clear. Let's go into the scientific mode. 96 binary. Clear. Okay, and we can, let's say we have 66. Okay, that is in decimal, hexadecimal, octa, binary. Let's clear that. And so on, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Hi, and welcome to C# Scientific Calculator. I'm going to start by clicking on Create New. And now make sure you select C# and we'll click on Next. And I'm going to give that a name. I just call it CS. There we go. So I'm going to be saving that straight into my resources. Okay, that's fine. Click on Save. Great. Okay, my development environment is ready. Select Toolbox. And let's scroll right up there. I need buttons. There we go. We have a button there, and I'm also going to double click on text box. There. So I now have a button and a text box on board. So as for the text box, I am going to just extend it that much. Yeah, that will do. Come right here. Let's change that small triangle there, triangle to multi-line, and you can just select it that much. Since it's going to be a scientific calculator, I'm going to drag this down a little bit. There we go. Now, as for the button, move it down just about that. Okay, now I am going to just try this out. Let's see if I can arrange. I want it to be 4x4, so let's go for, yeah, that's 4x4. Yeah, that's about right. So that's cool. So let's select the whole component together and go straight to the properties, and we just change the font of that properties to something much more readable. Now make that bold, come right down here and just change the size to about, let's go for 16. There we go. So, there we go. Now let's come back in here, just adjust that much. That's good. Select the buttons, hold on to your control, click and drag. We now have 2. We have 8. Okay, we have 16. Alright, let's drag this down. It's going to be 4x5. Okay, that will be 20. Alright, 20 buttons so far. That's good. Now let me check out the size of these, because I'm going to have to, yeah, okay. First of all, let's go back up here. You see, or before that, let's take care of the buttons. So this one is going to be called BTN 7. That's fine. BTN 7. So that's my very first button there, and the data in there is going to be 7. So let's come in here and just enter 7. There we go. Once you enter 7 in one of the button text box, you can just click on the others and just press 8, 9, plus, subtract, that will be 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. Make that multiplication, division, equals here, and here will be decimal, and here we enter 0 there. So that's how easy it is for us to just take care of the buttons interface. There we go. Now this is going to be BTN8, and this BTN9, BTN odd in here, BTN sub, BTN6, BTN5, BTN4. I'm going to complete that because of my new beginner, as this is a request tutorial. So that's BTN1, BTN2 here, BTN3, BTN multiply, just call that mod, BTN divide, BTN equals, BTN, we can call that dot, or yeah, dots we do, and this one is BTN 0. There we go. And the text box, that very text box, let's enter a value in there. I'm going to enter 0 as the default value. See where we have the align? I'm going to get that align right there, and just change the name of that one to txt result. There we go. That will display the result. Alright, that is fine. Now you see these two buttons, this one is going to be backspace, while this one is going to be plus minus. And to get those two icon, I'm going to go straight into Word. Let's open up Word document and select insert. Inside insert, you can also look for this online. Just click on that, and let's type in wing, and that should take us to wingings. There we go. Now the backspace is somewhere there. That is it. That's the one I intend to use. And we also have the plus minus. So close that. I'm going to copy the backspace and the plus minus. I will always delete one. Here we have the plus minus. Paste that in there and get rid of this backspace. There we go. We have plus minus here, and here let's just enter the backspace there. But we then have to change the font size of it. We need to change the font style to the fonts. Okay, let's change it to winging. There we go. That's it right there. There we go. That's the backspace. So I also need to give that backspace a name. That's going to be BTN BS backspace, and this is BTN clear there. And the next one I'm going to just call that BTN clear. There we go. And here that's going to be BTN PM plus minus. There, they all have a name now. So let's double click on the form and go straight into the code view, and right here I'm going to declare the following variable. So let's start by, so I'm going to just say double, and the first one will be enter first value. Okay, that's fine. Enter first value. The second one is going to be enter second value. There we go. Oh, let's accept that. That's good. The info text. There we go. That's fine. Enter second value. Now I'm also going to declare another one that is going to be string character. So let's say string. I'll just call that OP. That would be for my operator. So I will declare just these three variables for now. Now let's come in here. See all of these numeric buttons. I'm going to select them all, including the decimal button. Okay, and I will now come straight here to the event, and you see where we have click. I'm going to enter a name for that. I can just call that maybe enter numbers. There, press enter, and that is my code or procedural area for all of those buttons. Okay, right inside this procedural area for the event that I've just created, so I'm going to first of all declare or create an object. I'm going to call it number. Now say object equals, let's say button. So button object, that will be equals sender. Alright, so what I'm saying there is whatever is in there is sent straight to the button. So I will then use as follows. Let's say if txt result, that will be dot text equals the value 0 that I have in there. So when I say equals, I'm actually comparing whatever I have in there to what I have on the text box. So I'm going to enter curly braces in there, and then I will enter as follows using another if statement. If number dot text, if it's equals, now I want to compare what's going to be in there. If it's equals decimal point or decimal place, then I would then say using another if statement, it's more or less like nested ifs. If not txt result, if the text does not contain the decimal place, then we want the following. I want txt display to be equals txt display. So no, txt result equals txt result, and that is going to be plus whatever we have inside number, this txt, this number.txt. Let's paste that in there, and there we go. So that should take care of the decimal. Now we then need to compare. Else if it does not, we didn't use the decimal place and we keep clicking on the button, we just want it to give me as follows. So I'm going to grab a hold of all of this, whatever value we have on the text box, just enter it there. Remember this number actually represents all the value we have on the buttons. Now before I run it, because what I'm saying here, if it has the value of 0, I should clear first before we can enter something else. So I'm going to come in here, just paste that in there, and I'll just clear that. If we don't clear it, the system will only just give us 0 and whatever value we select. So let's save and run, and we'll see how that's going to work. Now we entered 9, you see 5, let's see, there we go. Try the decimal again, and we can enter as many values as we want. So that takes care of all the numeric buttons. So have a good look at those lines of codes. That's good. Now let's take care of the operators. I'm going to select these, and I'm going to click on the properties and also use event for them. Make sure you click on the event, that's it right here, and we can just call that number operators. So that's fine, press enter there. Okay, with the number operator, first of all I'm going to create an object in there, so I can just copy this very one as well. Let's come in here and paste it right there. Now underneath here I'm going to say enter first value, the very first value, whatever you enter, that will be, let's convert that to double and just accept that. Press enter. Now at the same time we also need to clear the operators, so I'm going to say no, we need to say operator will be equals whatever we have inside number.text. There we go. And we then need to clear text box itself. Paste that in there, and I'm going to just clear the value whatever we have in there. So these lines should take care of the the operators. Now that is taken care of, let's take care of the equals. Double click on equals. Now inside the equals, I'm going to first of all, let's say enter second value, and the second value that will be equals, we need to actually convert that. Okay, so that has to be converted to double because whatever we have inside the text box is in string character. So I'm going to accept this data given to me by the info text, so accept that. Okay, then convert that to double. Now to make life easy, I'm going to be using switch statement instead of if statement. Let's say switch. What am I switching from? That would be the operator. Enter curly braces in there. So the very first case, that would be the plus sign, enter column in there, and you have to break that as well. Just enter semicolon. Now that is for my first operator. I'm going to have about 3-4 operators in there. It's going to be more than that as time goes on anyway, but let's just copy and paste this. That's my, okay, change this one to subtract, and I need 2 more. Copy all of this. And paste that in there. That will be for the multiplication. And the last one here, I'm going to make that division. Right, looking good. Okay, there, and that is it. Let's enter default as well. Default, and we just enter break in there. There we go. Now let's come to the very first case. So that would be, that's a txt result the text, and that is going to be equals, let's say the first enter first number, this one here, first number, and we subtract that from second. Oh no, we add that to second number. Really, it's not subtract because this is addition. There we go, and that takes care of the first one. So I'm going to copy this without coming to subtract. Just paste that in there, change this to subtract. Then we have multiplication, change that to multiplication, and here change that to division, and that will take care of my equal sign until we enter more values into more operators into the system. Okay, let's try this out. I'm going to save that and just run it. Let's see. Okay, let's select whatever, minus 2 there. Let's multiply that by 8, enter decimal, and get that divided by 23. There we go. Alright, that is fine, working as we want. Okay, now let's take care of this one too. I'm going to double click on this. All we just need to do is just to change the value to 0. Clear, becomes 0. There we go. There. Now let's take care of clear entry. So in the case of clear entry, we just want to clear whatever value, the last value added. So I'm going to copy this first of all and let's paste that in here. And we just say, oh, let's declare string character, string variable in there. Let's get that right. And that will be equals, let's say is F for first number, S for second value that is added. There we go. So I'm going to then say F, that will be equals, let's get that converted now. We convert dot to string whatever we have inside entry, first entry. There we go. And we're going to repeat the same thing for the second entry. So copy that and just enter S in there. So that will be enter second value, and that is done. So we now need to clear both. Let's say F, that will be equals clear. S, that will be equals clear. There, that should take care of clear entry. Okay, let's try that out. So click on run, and I am going to just say, let's say 9 multiply by 2. Oh no, I don't want to. I changed my mind. There we go. Let's say multiply by 8. There, that's it. That's how the clear entry works. That is that. Okay, so that is fine. Let's take care of the plus minus. Double click on the plus minus. In the case of the plus minus, let's just call it double, and I'll call it Q. That will be equals. Let's convert whatever we have inside the text box. Accept that. And I'm now going to say txt result. Txt result dot text. We then need to convert that to string. So let's convert to string. I'm going to grab a whole of all of these here and just paste that in here. And we need to enter whatever we want to convert. That is going to be, no, we want to add minus 1 to it. So I'm going to say minus 1, multiply that by Q. So that should be in here. That's 1 minus 1 there. And that should take care of my plus minus. Let's save that. Run, and let's see what's going to happen. Let's say 8 minus, multiply that by 5. That should be minus 40. That is correct. Very good. So finally, let's take care of the backspace. Double click on backspace. With the backspace, I'm just going to, let's grab hold of this, use an if statement there. Let's say if txt result dot text dot length, that is greater than 0, then I want as follows: txt text box equals txt result, not text box, txt result, that will be, let's say, dot remove, yeah, and whatever we're removing is inside the text box, dot length minus 1. There, it's already giving me an idea of what to enter. That is good. However, let's assume when I finish clicking is 0, but before that, let's save, run, see what I'm talking about now. Let's say we have some values in there. There we go. And we'll say backspace, backspace, backspace. You see, it's all nothing in there now. So I will officially like it to default back to 0. So in that case, I'm going to use an if statement. So let's grab hold of all of these and we just change things around. Let's paste that right underneath here. So if this equals nothing, in that case this should become 0. There we go. That is it. That should take care of that. Okay, that should take care of that bug that you saw earlier. So let's run. There we go. Look at that. So backspace there becomes 0. Okay, backspace 0. That's good. Now, very good. Backspace. That is brilliant. Okay. Now, you see, this is how I should call that the standard calculator. Now let's add here. Let's come right here, select the toolbox, and I'll need menu. Make sure the form is selected. Come right down here. I need a menu. Let's go to M. There we go. Menu strip. Double click on the menu strip. Look at it. The menu strip is right there. So I'm going to click in there and enter the very first menu. That is File. Then in here, let's say Standard. Standard calculator. And the next one here, we just call that Scientific. Okay, and underneath here you can just enter exit if you want. There. Alright, you see, officially when I run this system, what I want is I want it to actually default to this size. Let's say this is the, let's check out this size first. Where is it? Let's go to the properties. Inside the property, the form for now, the size of the form is, that is the size of the form. The width, it's 116. So what I want it to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to double click on the form itself. Form load, let's say this dot the width, and that will be equals, that is the default. So let me change it to about 400 plus and enter semicolon. So this is the original size. Okay, I also need to make sure the text box itself, the value of the text box is in order. That's 3. That's 300 plus. So we can just say text box. So in here I'm going to say txt results dot width, and that is going to be equals this size. There we go. So when I run it now, look at how it's looking now. But when I run it, we should be able to just have a, there we go. That's how it's looking. I think this seems to be a little bit too wide. Something like this should do. Yeah, something like that should do. So let's crop it a little bit. Come back in here and just maybe make that 200 plus 2. Is it 290? I don't know. Just trying that out. So run. Let's see how 290 is going to look like. Oh no, that's wrong. This was undo whatever I've just done. So this should actually be 390. Now run. Let's see. C too large. 320. Run. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I was almost there. Maybe 360. There we go. Run. One more time. There we go. Look at that. Now supposing we want to, I'm going to copy this. Let's come in here. You see the form, double click on the standard, paste that for standard, and now double click on the scientific, paste that for scientific. In the case of scientific, let's just add this. So what, let's say this become that, and this become 600, and this is 63. There we go. Now let's run and see. Run. Okay, it's coming up. Scientific. Check that out, guys. I think we may have to reduce this, maybe something like this, and back to standard. Brilliant. Scientific and standard. Okay, that's good. Now let's take care of this, the exits. I'm going to come in here, drop that down, double click on that, and first of all I'm just going to say dialog result equals, let's just call that exits calculator. There. Now exit calculator, that will be equals, let's say message box dot show, and in here I'm going to, no, let's enter a bracket, confirm if you want to exit. Now that would be my first argument, comma. The second argument will just be, let's just call that scientific calculator. That's going to be the title. And the third argument, that's going to be message box button dot yes or no, comma. The fourth argument is going to be message box icon. So the icon, I'm going to use question mark. There we go. Now let's use an if statement. If exit calc equals dialog result, the info test has already told us what to write, so I'm going to accept that, and in that case that's going to just be application dot exit. Accept that as well. That is it. That takes care of the exit lines of codes there. Of course you can always write just application dot exit. I just feel that's not professional enough, so let's run and see how that's going to work as well. Exit, there we go. No, exit, yes, there. Okay, so that is fine. I'm going to change this to about 600 plus for that 690. That's for the scientific run. And let's just see how that's going to look like. Then we can just, that's fine there. So for now I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this calculator, and I'll see you guys shortly. Bye for now.